focusing on the session itself, I appreciated very much Mohammed discussing really from his heart, bringing his way of looking at Afar, bringing it to a bigger audience. This is what he wants, and for me that was interesting to see. I know him since a long time. I know him, and I like it, the way how he's addressing the difficulties. The next step would then be, okay, and what do we do about it? How can we go for it to make this evolutionary change, what he mentioned, that it is really functioning. So the other highlight was to see a lot of students being interested in, coming and thinking a lot. And for me, the third highlight was coming from research before. I started working GIZ some 10 years ago. And before that I was in research, and then it was always for me, how could we link research and development? Adapted research development, and I saw a lot of possibilities to come together. So this was for me personally another highlight. A new perspective in looking into it is how, in different ways you can interpret policies which start functioning, having impacts, what Dr. Simone Redberg was showing. And you can interpret the agenda behind, you can interpret it differently. So it was not that much new, but thinking about which position do you take and how do you look then at an issue and what does that mean in the end. It was then on this meta level. That was very interesting. When it comes to the situation in Ethiopia and in Afar, I was working together with Simone, doing different types of studies, what she was doing also with Mohammed. So from this side, it was not such a lot of new ideas, but then the introduction of Professor Müller-Mahn, and then with this positioning, what position do you take and the perspective you take from that. That was then something what was new for me. Going further. I think it would be more the term going further. As you know, we are working for the German government, and German government, and especially the Ministry of Economic and Development Cooperation, they started working in natural resource management, which is a huge, huge issue in Ethiopia 30 years ago, focusing on the heavily populated highlands with huge problems in this area. And then we got a chance 4 or 5 years ago, when the first funding lines came up going towards more climate change and then drought resilience, to bring lessons learned from the highland approaches, highland projects, bring them to lowland areas and to adapt. So, and I think this is, if you look at the system we are working in, we have a huge opportunity in the German Development Cooperation that we are allowed to adapt, to learn, to go further, and to see what we can do with what we have learned, and to formulate also new approaches. I think this makes it extremely interesting as well, and the only way of doing it, definitely in such an area. I mean, resilience should be the end where you go to, and there is always this continuum between emergency and transitional aid and development cooperation. And the resilience projects, they are eventually like transitional aid being between emergency and development or development projects. Unfortunately, and this was also mentioned this evening, unfortunately due to the recurrent and more frequent droughts, often emergency measures are intervening and even hindering transitional or development measures. But as I said also, if people are hungry, if their daily food security is not secured, they will not be able to engage into any other measure which might change their livelihood. Afar is an incredible, nice landscape, with incredible nicely and a little bit exotic people in there, the Afar people. So we have huge number of pictures. Everyone is taking pictures when they are there because it's so exotic. But pictures, it's an exact situation. And we brought artists there not for the reason of illustrating a presentation, but the reason was we'll need people who will be able to illustrate training material. Some issues in a training manual for the water spreading, we use this approach, more lowland adapted natural resource management approach. We are elaborating training material to bring it into the system, into the extension system. So for this training material, you could work with pictures, taking pictures, but we could also work with drawings. And we want to work with drawing to be more neutral somehow, to be a little bit differentiated from the real situation. That's why we brought the artists there, and it was very interesting to see what the artists see. And we have about 50 drawings, paintings, sculptures, and I took now for the presentation some of the best ones, and yeah, for some of these artists, it was 10 artists bringing there, and some of them, they will then continue with us in illustrating the training materials. For me, I mean, I'm a very more scientific-based person and not that much in art. So when we had a kind of vernissage for the best drawings and just to award, to give the attention to what they did. And besides that, another one is also linking. I mean, the artists are not Afar. We did not find an Afar artist. So they came from other regions of Ethiopia, and they were very much astonished how difficult it is. They lived only for about 1 week there, and they were really happy being back. We connected people from different regions, definitely. And we connected also, I mean, we did it together with the Goethe Institute in Addis. And we linked it also to the ministries. The vernissage, we had then quite high-level politicians with us. And is it like that? And oh yeah, we have to come. I think what will make a difference, and what is the voice of Afar? We had this discussion this afternoon or this evening. What makes a difference is also bringing people there, showing them, interesting them to see to take another position. And through our projects, in the meantime, several ministers came to the area. They never have been there. They only decided on the area without being there. And if I invite them, say, come and then see, and then from there we can continue discussing. This could be then also an opportunity of changing the framework conditions a little bit. I started working in Afar 4 years ago, working in Ethiopia 4 years ago. And in the meantime, I really wish, I started a little bit to understand the different cultures. There are so many cultures. I said that up to 80 different ethnic groups means 80 cultures, means 80 languages, means a huge diversity. And what I really wish is that peace can be maintained. At the moment, we have state of emergency. It is peaceful, but it is peaceful due to state of emergency. And I hope that government finds the right measures to bring the type of development what this country needs to go on peacefully. And including really all the different ethnic groups into development, into a sustainable development. How this will be possible, I don't know really, and I hope that we can participate, bring our share into it.